So I just woke up from having this amazing dream. I was like, I cannot wait. I have to record it right now. So basically what happened was we were in sort of the same house now, but it had like it had different stuff. So um no, it was not the same house. No, honestly, now that I think about it, it was a bigger house. Um and it had like a room, and in this room it had like a secret wall. And behind that wall, we had like all of our treasures and stuff. And then we had another room, and my mom, in my dream, she called it the Old Testament room. And that's where we put all of our like artifacts that we found from the Old Testament, and we put it in there. And so we had found something else, and these two guys came, and we did not trust them at all, but we had to let them in our house. We had to let them, because we had found another article, and we had to let them come see it. Like, we didn't want them to come see it. We didn't trust them at all. And so they had like went all around our house. One of the guys had an ability that he can go underground and stuff. And we knew that he was under there, and like digging and stuff. Like, he was basically like, he has the ability to be like a mole. Moles go underground and he dig tunnels and stuff. While he was doing that, the other guy was like talking to us and stuff like that, and he was talking to us about basically trying to distract us, because the other guy was digging holes. Goodness. Okay, well, while the guy was digging holes and the other guy was talking to us, I had a knowing that our stuff started disappearing. And so finally, the guys had left. And that's when we noticed, like, first we had a whole bunch of, like, spears. And they were, like, divided, basically, the way that they were set up. But they were on the same, like, they were on, like, a stand. And the stand had like a gap in between it, but it was like, what I mean is it didn't have like holes to hold the staffs, but like all the staffs were like on there, and one half of the staffs, they didn't have the spears. So it was spears. It was a whole bunch of spears, and one half of the spears didn't have the the arrows on top of the staffs, and then the other half of the spears, they were perfectly fine. And that was where we put them, just to like basically like storage. And so my mom goes, she told me to bring them up front and put them up in a way, and that's how I noticed. I was like, oh my goodness, it's missing. They really stole. Like, before when they were talking to us, I was thinking like, are they stealing from us? And then when I saw the staffs, I was like, yeah, I mean the spears. I was like, yeah, they were for real stealing from us. And I was like, go get them, go put them up front. And I was like, they stole from us, and that was in the Old Testament vault. And then my mom came back and she looked at it, and while we were like on our way walking out, she goes, basically, we forgot to close the wall that had our treasures. The wall that had our treasures were open a little bit, I think. No, backtrack. Okay, we did close that wall, and I remember my mom saying, good thing God told me to close that wall, and she did. And God had told me to close the doors to the Old Testament vault, but I didn't. It was not like I was being rebellious. I think it's like I just forgot. And then my mom was like, see, you should have hurried up and did it, because I didn't close that vault. And that's how they got in there. They got in there, and they were stealing stuff. Because when I noticed that the doors were open, I completely forgot God told me to close the doors, because I was like, oh my goodness, Mom, we should have closed these doors. And my mom was like, God told you to close the doors. You didn't close the doors. And so then, while we were like running out the vault, all of our running, and it was me, my mom, and my little sister. And I don't know what my sister was doing, but like I didn't really see her while the guys were there, but I knew that she was there when this had happened. What happened was we were running around and stuff. All of a sudden, the whole house, because that guy who was under the ground, that little mole type of dude, he dug tunnels underneath our house. So it made our house just fall into the floor. And we had two stories, and I remember thinking, like, I have to go to class, like, right after this, and I was just like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna get to school? And then I was like, oh, I can just, well, because I mean, like, we're underground. This part of our house is underground, but like we have a topper bunk. I mean, because it was 2 stories, all I have to do is just go up there and just come out. So I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. And my mom goes, wait a minute, no, it's about to happen. And then my mom hurries up. She starts looking to see if we have enough food. And I was out of cereal. And my mom goes, you need to go get cereal. And I did not want to leave the house at all. I'm looking at all this stuff in our house. And she was like, you need to get your cereal. And I was still like, I really don't want to leave the house. The house just, half of it just went underground. And what if the other half goes underground? Like, I don't want to go out because I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I don't want to leave. And I looked out the window and I see this like sort of building. I remember looking at it thinking that it was an ark, but it wasn't the ark with like the animals. I just knew it was like a form of the ark. Like, it had the big door in front, and it was like all wood, and it didn't have any windows, and I just knew it was like a smaller version of it. And I was like, Mom, was that always there? Because I always have like realistic dreams, and I always like forget stuff like in the real world. So I was just like, did we always have that? Was that always there? And my mom comes over and she goes, no. And that's when she was really like, first when she was saying it's about to happen, it was more like a 50%. She saw that, she said, no, it is happening right now. And she still told me, she was like, go get your cereal. And I was like, I was so scared to get my cereal. And I look across and I saw another type of building, and I knew, I was like, okay, well, I need to go to that building and go get my cereal. And I was just like, I was like, I really don't want to leave. But I had to, because my mom told me to go get cereal, because I was the only one out of cereal. Like, everybody else had their cereal. My mom said, because I have a favorite cereal in the real world here, and my favorite cereal, literally, like, after, like, I think, like, 8 bowls of cereal is I don't have any more cereal. And so I run out of it in, like, 1 week, almost. And so I remember thinking to myself, I was like, if this is, like, the 3 days of darkness about to happen, I can't go get that little cereal. And I was thinking, before I even left the house, I was like really thinking, like, what cereal can I get? Because we have like a big old, there was like a really big box of Frosted Flakes. So I was like, might go get that. And I was thinking about Aldi's, but then I was like, but I need to go to that little building over there and go get it. So like right before I left, I woke up.
Hi, God bless you all. So this is a dream that my daughter had yesterday, and I wanted to make sure that I posted it. It's a symbolic dream, but it has a lot of very important things in it. So first of all, I want to point out that the house that she saw was definitely a spiritual house. And I'm not going to explain what that is right now, because I've already done a lot of videos in the past explaining what those spiritual houses represent. You know, just to give a quick summary, they have to do with our obedience to God, and they also have to do with our relationship with God. That's what your spiritual house represents. And I will put the videos that I have done in the past about the spiritual house. It gives way more detail than this quick summary I'm giving, and scriptures and all of that kind of stuff. The fact that she saw 2 treasure rooms is very important to me. It rings out to me because my youngest daughter also saw that we had treasure rooms in our house, and a heavenly mansion dream that she had. And now in this video, my daughter only talked about the artifact room, because that's the room that the bad people were after getting something out of. But when after she recorded it and told me about the dream, because first she recorded it, then she came and told me, she said that we had many rooms that were treasure rooms, and one of them we had actual treasures, like we had a whole bunch of gold and just all kind of very expensive jewels and things like that in this one room. And in the artifact room, she said it was like an Old Testament room where, and that's exactly what it was. She said it was an Old Testament artifact room where we was collecting things from the Old Testament, like things back in that time, like pottery or spears or, you know, all kind of things like that. And we were putting them in this room. We had a whole treasure room full of Old Testament artifacts, and that's what the bad people were after. She said that the bad people were dressed in black, and I wanted to know, and she said this outside of the video when she told me, and I wanted to know what they was dressed like. I've seen these same type of bad people before. I've done videos about it where I call them the men in black, and you can see those videos. I'm not going to go over all the detail of it now because I don't want it to be, this video to be too long, and I've already talked about them anyway. So definitely the Lord has shown me these men in black as well, and how they were listening. Just to give a quick summary, they were using different electrical devices and things like this to listen in and, you know, on our house and spy on us and stuff. But what my daughter was shown was very interesting, because she was shown that they was actually trying to destroy the foundation of our spiritual house, and that they was trying to steal from us. I want to point out also that these people that she saw, they had abilities. They were like the fake 144,000. And I haven't did a video specifically talking about the fake 144,000, but I can tell you all that as I have seen this fake 144,000. I haven't discussed it in detail, but they will have abilities, and they're having dreams. Okay, they're having dreams. They're on YouTube. They're making prophetic videos. They are, you know, acting like they're one of us, and they are not. They are satanic. They are doing satanic practices. Then some of them are witches and warlocks. And many people don't understand that, you know, and they think I'm being mean and I'm not showing love and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling you guys the truth. And God is starting to reveal this to more and more people. So it's going to be easier to say it in the future, because I just saw a video today where someone was also talking about this fake group of 144,000, and it's true. They have abilities. They having dreams of abilities. They have the fake Jesus. They have all kind of things that they're doing, and they're promoting all kind of ungodly doctrine, and you know, leading people astray very much so. And the so-called prophecies that they have are contrary to the true prophecies from God. And a lot of them are practicing Satanism. They literally are witches. I'm not joking about that. They literally are. The Lord allowed me to know that personally, okay, with someone that I knew. They literally are doing satanic things. And so I believe that's what my daughter saw, because they had abilities as well in her dream. And one of them was a mole, you know, and just a definition of a mole. A mole is a spy who achieves over a long period an important position within security defenses. So in other words, it's a spy or a secret agent or a plant. You know, it's an informant. It's somebody that you think is your friend. You think this person is for you. And their whole objective, what she was shown, this mole's job was to destroy the relationship that we had with God and to destroy our obedience to God. We are under so much opposition, oppression, and what I keep telling myself every day is keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. So we have to be careful. And I would say to anybody, because even if you're not a minister and you just have a lot of opposition or anything like that, keep putting one foot in front of the other one. Keep putting one foot in front of the other one. Keep moving. Keep going forward. She also said that the moles was after the spears in the artifact room. And I think those spears have to do with, you know, destroying the enemy. It made me think of the Word of God. The Bible tells us the word of God is a sword. So it made me think of that. But If anybody has any insight about those spears, I'd be interested in hearing that. Why was they after the spears? She also said that it was important that we close the walls to these vaults. And that's very symbolic to closing any spiritual doors. We have to be very careful. And one of the ways in which you can have spiritual doors open is if you are living in sin. That's why we had to make sure all of the doors in this spiritual house were closed. And one thing that was very important that stood out to me is that in her dream, I said that it was about to happen and that she needed to get some food. So I think that has to do with stocking up. I don't have dreams really about stocking up. The only thing I've had is years ago, I had a dream, and I did post this dream. The tribulation was just about to start. I mean, it was just about to start. And I had a partner that I was working with, and in that dream, I was calling him my husband. And I've asked God, what does that mean? I mean, I had that dream years ago, and I don't know what that means. But anyway, I was calling this man my husband. And we was telepathically communicating with one another. And I had told him, we was actually discussing together that we needed to get food because we were going to be housing a lot of people in our house, and I was going to be ministering to them. We was going to be ministering to them, but he went to get the food, and then I stayed behind to minister to them. And I remember him buying a lot of food and stocking up at that point in the dream. And then I had another dream, and it was also a dream after the tribulation started, and there was like, an invasion on American soil. It was really bad. And in that dream, I was told to pack a book bag. And I don't know who gave that mandate. I don't know if it was a government mandate or if it was God or what. But as I was undercover acting like a civilian, I had to act like a civilian. So I went and packed a bag. So I have never gotten a dream telling the church personally to go and stock up. And then in my daughter's dream now, it was right before things got going. And I said, okay, well, you need to go get some cereal. But I will say this. I do believe that people need to stock up if God is telling them that. And I think that God hasn't personally told me that because of whatever he's going to have me doing. I don't need to, because I don't know, because that's just not what I've seen. But I do, I believe in buying a few things. I do try to keep a few things, but I don't have a whole room and a whole bunch of stuff or nothing like that. So it's important to just be led by the Lord and just make sure that you are doing as the Lord tells you to do. And then she said how we saw the ark. And of course, as soon as she said the ark, I knew what that meant. We know about Noah's ark. The ark was a place of divine protection in the midst of the tribulation, in the midst of everything that was going on outside of that ark. He was protected with his family and the animals and their goods inside of this ark. And I've had other dreams. My youngest daughter had a dream about the ark, and then the Lord showed me a vision of the ark, and I'll put those videos in the description box as well. And basically what the Lord has shown me is that that's how he's going to protect his people. Now I've had people say, well, that means the rapture. And like I said, when the Lord tells me the word rapture, I have literally heard the word rapture in a dream before. Literally, I was told by an angel I had a rapture dream, and I'll put that dream in the description box. And the angel told me that I was going to be raptured. That exact word. Now, when I hear the word rapture, I believe in saying the word rapture. Now, it could mean rapture. I'm not saying it doesn't mean rapture. I'm just saying that it means divine protection, of course. So I believe in that. And also, I said that it was happening now. So that is why I wanted to make sure I get this video out right away. I said in the video that it's happening right now. So this is something I want to get out right now. So I want you guys to please pray about this video and see if the Lord is leading you to do anything like stock up right now. Definitely anything like that. And make sure that you are being led by him. And then also the last thing I wanted to say is that she said in the dream that she was literally thinking about the 3 days of darkness. So that was like an alarm that went off to me when she said the 3 days of darkness. And I'm not sure how many of you all are following everything that's happening around the world. I am sub to Israeli News Live, but I will be honest and say that I don't watch all his videos. I probably don't even watch half his videos because I just don't have time. I love the guy, but I do watch all of the headers of his videos. And I can see that, there's a lot of warring and everything going on. And these things have been going on for a while, which is true, for years. But they continue to advance. So it's just something to keep an eye on. And, she said that I was talking about the 3 days of darkness. So, let's just stay prayed up and stay clean to God and just look to him for guidance at this time. I love you all. God bless you. Bye.